we're better prepared. So we did an analysis on a year's worth of trade, and we worked out that we're trying to get hold of simple things like raw plugs or drain fittings or rolls of cables. We worked out that across all of our teams, we were losing about 140 days a year across several teams in missed opportunities to finish a job on the correct day or a day quicker. We found that we saved all them lost days. Them lost days now help us pay for all of this. So what we started to do, we realised that if we to stock the essentials, that when the engineers come in and kit up, other than forgetting to take something with them, which happens less and less, we're training people and encouraging them to plan forward, because obviously stock on shelves is kind of dead money. But I see it the opposite way around. Let me show you through to our stores and our test rigs. So this is our secure gas store. We installed this initially to have as a training rig for our engineers. So even if our engineers are qualified or they're coming on as an apprentice and then they need further training, this gives our engineers an opportunity, and you can see this one's been pulled about a bit, to practice insulating the pipes correctly, to learn to power flush something, to learn the basic diagram of how it goes together and how it will work, defrost testing, setting up and commissioning valent controls, as this one's a valent, so we use that for training them. But it doubles up. We thought, rather than just have a training rig, why don't we use it as the main heating? And then we sat down and we thought, how can we heat this building? So above us is a mezzanine floor as the service office. So it's like a whole floor with 4 or 5 people that work up there. If you follow the pipe round, what we did was we thought, if we do underfloor heating and we do it in deflector plates, and I don't know if you can see it, but basically what we've done is the underfloor heating system goes through deflector plates that you would usually put in the middle floor, so they go below the floorboards, but they sit cushioned in the void, in the ceiling of the kitchen, if you like, and the floor of the bedroom. We screwed them to the bottom of the 38mm thick structural floor above. Heat rises, yeah? So we allowed the heat and all of the UV to shine through the floor. And that actually worked better than we imagined. So we did that. Then what we did, we put a small radiator in each bathroom. That's powered from the heat pump. They work fantastically. And then we put a larger one in here because this room's slightly colder. Put this kilowatt radiator on here, more of a heat dump, but it also allows heat to go out into more of the open plan area. So we put underfloor heating in here with no step, but we didn't dig up the floor. What we did was, in this wall here, from around 300 mil from the floor until 1.5 meters about there, the underfloor heating circuit is in the wall. It's in this wall and it's in this wall. And this room has stayed 20 to 21 degrees C since we've built it. It doesn't move. It also has MVHR, which is above our head, which comes through these grills. And for backup, above you is Mitsubishi Electric air conditioning, which is also air source heat pump, as everyone's now starting to become aware. And we put that in just in case this didn't cover it, and it covered it very well. So that will technically be used for cooling in the summer if the room overheats. And that, other than that, I don't think we'll ever turn it on. That circuit in the walls comes through the ceiling and down inside the walls there, and as you can see for the underfloor heating, for upstairs, basically the plates are all above the ceiling there, so it's getting the heat from above, it's getting the heat from the walls, and I've avoided having, so this is all disabled access, so if we employ anyone that's disabled or anyone visits us, we've got access to the toilet, access to an office and a comfortable space, access from the street without any steps, anything in the way for them to be able to get in comfortably. So that shows you the heating system. You'd be crazy not to train your in-house staff by using a rig like this. That's what we do. Get yourself a good rig and make sure your engineers are taking this thing apart and putting it back together as many times as you possibly can until you're super happy. They know everything, every single component, every single position, and every way that you can pipe it. So to date, we have installed over 1.37 million square meters of heating and over 1 million square meters of cooling. That combined with multiple years of training and experience in micro power generation, MOD, office blocks, and light commercial, industrial, schools, hospitals, and a few other sort of technical areas. We've got a vast experience and training to tackle almost any environment commercially. We operate in Southeast UK, Kent, surrounding counties, Sussex, Southeast London. This is where we operate all of the planning, the emergency call-outs, and all of the operations of the installations. We use multiple softwares and management systems to operate the whole business so that everything's tracked and everything is planned right down to the installation, commissioning, maintenance and warranty of every system we install. When we first meet the customers, they'll say, oh yeah, I just wanted a unit here, and what does it look like? So the first thing is that they're trying to establish how much room it will take. Is it an eyesore? Is it attractive? And that's important to people. It's how it looks how it works, how it sounds. Often it's misunderstood what the machines will do and how they will do it. We often go through in detail how slow, low heat works and the generation of that heat in the first place. The customers may be quite used to reheat or reactive recovery. Say the original building was done by gas. They turn the thermostat on, 20 minutes later they're all starting to feel warm. With the air source heat pumps, what will happen is they take 20 or 30 minutes to generate any usable heat in the first place. So it's getting the customers to understand that you switch it on. Let's say operation time is 9 till 5. I would be advising customers run the heating system from 6, 7 in the morning and until at least 5, 5:15. We estimate that the cost of running, subject to design, cost of running the systems at a setback all night, which will only operate a few hours over the dead of winter, is actually more cost effective than switching them on and off and making them run really hard for the first 2 hours in the morning. The actual heat pump itself, the monoblock here by Valent, the Aerotherm, basically pulls air through the evaporator coil, which is at the back, which is like a collector. That is then absorbing that energy from the atmosphere. That's converting it through the compression and evaporation cycle within the components inside the system. That converts that energy into usable energy on a plate heat exchanger and then moves it through the water, like, as we all know, like a traditional heating system, which then goes around the building on underfloor heating, in fan coils or in radiators. It's as simple as that. The myth about gas-driven boilers are better than heat pumps isn't true. Heat pumps are just as good at delivering heat. They're, by the technology that they use to collect the heat from the atmosphere, even in a really cold and wet day like today, they work perfectly fine and at very high efficiency rates.